configuration to ensure the best possible customer experience out of the box. So just specifically here on the 3rd generation M-Box, I have a regular M-Box right here. So if I go to my hardware setup now, let me just move in for you here. So I've got a multifunction button here. Let me just move this beverage. And for you folks at home, now you can see this a little better. I can program this multifunction button to do all kinds of cool stuff. Start and stop record, punch in, loop playback toggle, save session, what have you. I'm going to launch this control panel now and just show you this. And this was cool. This actually surprised the heck out of me. We've got a whole bunch of software routing here for monitoring. We got some built-in DSP effects. So while you're tracking, you can actually hear effects while you're recording. And the other thing that I really dig about this is we have a built-in tuner, which is just amazingly useful. Let's just hear some of this now. So, as Paul stated before, so in addition with Pro Tools 9, we increased the number of mono or stereo tracks available to you to 96 out of the box, 256 buses. We've now implemented one of the top most customer requested features, and that's delay compensation on the host. So ADC using the CPU's native processing. Let me show you where that happens. We saw a screenshot of that earlier. I've got this already launched for us. Here's the delay compensation engine. I've got it turned on already just simply so we don't have to endure another launch of Pro Tools here. So I've got that going. And then let me show you, I turn that on here. Under the options, there's your delay comp. And the other piece I mentioned in that Avid optimized environment, we have the low latency monitoring feature here. So incredibly great features. So let me turn delay comp on. And let's give a listen to some of this here. You can see down here in the track strip, at the bottom of the track strip, you can see the values there. So that's just unheard of to get that going. I'm shocked. I'm really pleased. So much improved and incredibly useful. Something people have been asking for quite some time. So ADC on the host and using any hardware, I think those are really incredibly powerful. So I want to quickly move on, show you a couple other things here in PT9 that are the standard features that are included. So again, as we mentioned, time code is now included. OMF, AAF, MXF, MP3 support, variable pan depth. Let me show you that too. Multi-track beat detective. And variable, let me show you the variable pan depth. Here it is. A lot of people have commented, stuff done in a summing box, something sounds wider, or the imaging is brighter. So we give you control of that right here now, something a lot of people have been asking for. It's a very powerful feature. The other piece that we have here is Digibase Pro is now included. Let me get that going. There we go. Advanced search features in Digibase Pro. And one of the things I like here is custom catalogs. Allows you to store all your favorite stuff in a single folder and get back to it a lot easier. So anyway, let's move on to that. All these things were previously only available via paid option or an upgrade. Now this is all included in Pro Tools 9 for $599. The other thing I want to talk about is how hard people have been working in the 7 months since the acquisition of Euphonics around NAB earlier this year. We have integrated Yukon support. This shows up over here back in Pro Tools under Setup in the peripherals. And here's where you enable your Yukon. This is built in. So no more limitations of HUI, no more limitations of MIDI, incredibly responsive. Before I go and show you actually the surface here, I just want to show you a couple things in U-Control. Many of you folks are familiar with this, but it's just worthy to show you. So here is where you can program all these multifunction buttons here on the touchscreen. Here, right here, I've created a button called Lead Vox. This is for a lead vocal layout, very similar to custom faders in Icon Land. I can go here and program exactly what I want to happen when this button gets pushed. I'm recalling a layout in which I can snap my faders to where I want them to be, independent of what's happening in the software. So I'm going to move over here. Oh, before I do that, though, I want to show you, I'm being a little bit optimistic. I created another button here called Decaf Latte. I'm hoping that when I push this button, it's going to start some coffee brewing in my espresso machine at home, or at least call someone down at Starbucks. I don't know that that's quite implemented yet, but I just want to say overall, keep your eye on Yukon Integration. There's a lot of cool stuff happening there. So if we just move over to the surface here, let me get my soft keys going. I think you can see that now. Great. So I just pushed my lead, that same lead Vox button. I push it, snaps my lead vocal fader over here. Let me snap to that. Drop down into here real quick. So what that happens, great, you can see the software interface now. So brings up all these parameters for the various inserts. It gives me access, so I don't know if you can see that with my finger in the way there. But I've got EQ, dynamics, various inserts, and sends. So if I push that button, my EQ3 pops up on the screen. You see that in the picture-in-picture? Oh, lovely. So great. So, and then you can see here all these parameters in lovely Avid Lavender. I get access to these parameters really quickly and easily. And again, the response is so much snappier now that Yukon's live in Pro Tools. Let me get a little more music going here. Let's go to a different section. So I can ride the lead vocal here, make changes on the fly. So that's a long list of stuff. I mean, the bottom line was with Yukon Integration at this point, it's only the beginning. We're going to see a lot more amazing developments here. Really looking forward to it. So as Paul mentioned before also, now that essentially a DV toolkit and music production toolkit features are included in Pro Tools 9, we now created the new Complete Production Toolkit 2 for users who need the complete feature set of Pro Tools HD9, but in a software-only version. So now you can have up to 192 tracks, 7.1 surround mixing in a DTS Blu-ray standard, VCA mixing, advanced automation features, multiple video tracks, playlists, and editing, and support for Icon. This was only available previously with Pro Tools HD. Let's just take a look at a couple of the things in Complete Production Toolkit. So obviously, VCA tracks. I'll move in for the folks at home too here. So now I've got VCAs that I can assign. I've also got my group attributes, all those great features of VCA-style mixing right here on a laptop. And it could be on built-in output, like I said before. So here's my VCA tracks. Also advanced automation features here. Preview, capture, auto-join, trim mode, all those professional automation features built in with Complete Production Toolkit 2. If you're an HD owner, like we mentioned before, the Pro Tools HD9 authorization is going to allow you to take your sessions from the studio to your laptop with no hardware attached and continue to work with virtually no loss of features. Obviously, the analog heat analog emulation and some video ref stuff, but there's no loss. That's the beauty of having a single installer. No additional purchases, the pain of installing other software or other authorizations. It's right there. What does that mean for customers? Total flexibility for them to work the way they want to. I think you'll have to agree, Pro Tools 9 is pretty darn awesome. Pro Tools 9 is so powerful, it'll turn your hair purple. Just look what happened to me. All right, if we can get up the PowerPoint, I just want to run through this laundry list. We're going to basically do a little recap here. Great. Thank you, Imogen. I love you. I'm going to turn you down here for a second. So this year we launched the new HD Series I/O, HD I/O, Omni, MADI, third generation M boxes, Pro Tools HD Native, and now Avid brings you Pro Tools 9, a standalone digital audio workstation completely built from the ground up with automatic delay compensation, increased track count, support for third-party hardware, and built-in audio. Other standard features, time code, variable pan depth, OMF, AAF, MP3 support, multi-track beat detective, Digibass Pro. And then adding Yukon to that whole laundry list of groovy stuff, there's a deep integration and rich control that Pro Tools are really accustomed to, both on Artist Series and System 5 Series controllers. I could have an 80-fader D control up here with my MBox 3 or a System 5. I think that's just crazy. Additional standard, we talked about that, and with the optional Complete Production Toolkit 2, we offer the professional feature set and the lossless session interchange with Pro Tools HD. So what does this mean? Capability, flexibility, and quality that people haven't ever had before. I think it's incredibly powerful. And then obviously, this whole product line filling that huge gap before that we had in the lineup, now giving you a wonderful ramp up from getting initially involved with just the standalone software, moving up with hardware choices and functionality in the toolkits. So, Pro Tools 9 is available. Is it time yet? Right now. It's live, people. $5.99. Go and blow up the Avid web store tonight. I want to see smoke coming out of that thing. Or you can go visit a local Avid audio dealer. I think this is a tremendous historic offering, and I hope you'll agree with me. I'm Kerry Rose. On behalf of everyone at Avid, I want to say how proud and excited I am to give you this news tonight. That's a quick peek at Pro Tools 9. Let me give it back to Paul, and he's going to take us through some stuff. Thank you.